This is Joe Costello's WFO Radio Ignition, covering everything that has wheels, an engine, and a driver.
The reason I race is to get the chicks. You know what I mean?
NASCAR, IndyCar, Formula One, sports cars, and NHRA drag racing.
Hey guys, just want to let you know, WFO rocks.
WFO Radio is total motorsports.
It's just so cool.
Fasten your seatbelts, fire up the ignition, and drop the hammer.
Yeah, let's do it.
Now, here's your host, Joe Costello.
WFO Radio, what's up, everybody? I just walked back into the studio, coming back from the Lucas Oil Winternationals, and we have got a lot going on. I want to let everybody know we're going to start the show with Fantasy League information. We're going to give you a detailed explanation of how to get into the WFO Radio Fantasy League so that you or your friends, you can share it with them, send it over to them. The league is unlimited in size, and so we don't have to do like we did in years past and only get 100 people in there. You can share the league info. You can share the podcast with people. Now, this year we have, let's call it a grave mistake or just taking our time getting sorted and figuring out this drivergroupgame.com and how to get in there and how it worked and all of that. It is a change from 2 years ago. We were at Yahoo, and then this past year we were at Fantasy Racing Cheat Sheet, and now we're in a new location, and I'm going to give you all of that information. If you're a new listener, a first-time listener, someone has shared this information with you, just be ready. It's simple but different, and we'll give you the information. I'm going to read to you as it was described to me. And we'll give you a username, a league number, a password. You'll create a fun league name. You'll get in there. You'll battle. And so it begins. The WFO Radio Fantasy League. Los Gincones, the league champion. And you can see the name is over there on the trophy, like Gio can see. Right, Gio? You can see.
Nope.
I can see. But the listener, you'll have to wait till we tweet some photographs, which we will. I had a great time out there at the Lucas Oil Winternationals. Race day got rained out and rescheduled for Monday, which was today. I, of course, had to listen on NHRA.TV, which I did. Very interesting stuff. I'm going to give the results because by the time you hear this show, chances are you should have seen it, and it's going to be on Fox Sports 2, and you should have seen it. Doug Coletta takes the win over Steve Torrance in kind of a crazy final round. I'm looking forward to going back and seeing it all. Robert Height over Fast Jack Beckman by like a couple of thousandths of a second on a hole shot. And Bo Butner over Jason Line. Bo getting around Erica in the semifinals. Now we're going to try to catch up with as many of them as possible on NHRA Nitro, which will be hopefully at its normal time. But I'm telling you that if I can get more guests and push it back to Wednesday, you know what I mean? Like if it's like get one person and have it come out Tuesday night or get everybody and have it come out Wednesday afternoon, I might just do the Wednesday afternoon thing. That's what I'm debating right now. That's the thing about on-demand podcast. We'll let you know. But then again, we've always got next week's show. We can do that also. So good stuff. It was fun seeing Rich and Saugus and Kathy and everybody out there at the race. Great stuff. And in 2 weeks, we'll be out there in Arizona at Wild Horse Pass. Jimmy Johnson wins the Clash. William Byron on the pole for the Daytona 500, which you will be picking drivers for your fantasy team. All right, here's the information. Let's get into it. The website is drivergroupgame.com. All right, fantasy players need to go to the website for Driver Group Game, which is drivergroupgame.com. Now, from this point, there are two distinct groups. The people that played with us last year and the people who have never played at all. So first, we'll do the people that are new to the game, okay? If you're new to the game, go to the website, drivergroupgame.com. Scroll to the bottom and click Sign Up. Fill out the information to create your profile. On the left, under your dashboard, you will see a tab that says Join League. Click on it. Go to the search bar on the right-hand side of the page and type in WFO Radio. Now, there's also a league number, which is 613. Okay? The WFO Radio League should be listed. If there is a password, you'll have to type the password, and I do have the password. Then you should be in the league. Click on your team name to select your drivers. Set your lineup by clicking on your entry name and selecting the boxes A drivers, B drivers, C drivers. Basically the same game that we played for so many years. Some people have recommended, like Team 14, Mike, former champ, that we should reduce the number. He was politicking me to reduce the number of allocations from 9 to 8 to make it more challenging. And I say no to that. I want to just keep it the same game, man. It doesn't need to be more challenging. You didn't win last year, man. You don't need it to be any more challenging. Los Gincones whooped y'all.
Yeah, they won
past couple years. So you want it to be more challenging. You're not winning already. So let's just leave it. It's a good game. It's a solid game. Everybody loves it. This year, there will be stage points. Once again, the league ID is 613. The league name is WFO space radio. And I got WFO capitalized and the word radio capitalized. I don't think that much matters in your search bar. And the league password, ready? This is case sensitive. Capital WFOR, all together. Capital WFOR, lowercase ADIO1. So that will be WFO Radio 1 with WFOR, all capitalized. Lowercase ADIO1. League name, WFO Radio, league ID, 613. That is if you are new to the game. And welcome to the league. Do you have what it takes? Probably not. To get your name on the trophy. It is a very, very difficult thing. And only a couple people have done it. Rich York has done it 4 times. Moneyman, myself, Los Gincones, Smothered and Covered, Team 14. Who else, Gio?
Uper won. Chip Chipperson.
Remember Chip Chipperson? He's on. I haven't heard from Chip Chipperson in a long time. Guess what?
Former champion.
He's with us permanently. His name is on the trophy, created by Cold Hard Art, Tom Patsis, out of parts that have gone 300 miles per hour, and Don Schumacher Racing nitro cars, and cars that have perhaps won the Daytona 500 and Hendrick Motorsports cars, and won the Indy 500 in Penske Racing machines. Like, we don't know what parts those are. We know that they're Hendrick, Penske, and DSR. And your name could be on the trophy. Now, what if you played with us last year? That's a different story.
Well, if you played last year, you could go to the
I have instructions.
Fantasy Racing cheat sheet and click right through.
But you have to do forgot password, which is a big thing.
Yes, but you do. I'm just saying that you could just go to the old site and click through.
If you played last year, all of your information has been transferred from the website last year to the new site. Scroll to the bottom and click Log In. If you played last year, you will have to click on Forgot Password to create a new password. And you should already be in the WFO Radio League. The league name will be listed on the left under your dashboard. Set your lineup by clicking on your entry name and selecting the boxes next to the drivers, groups A, B, C, etc. There it is. Once again, the group number, 613. That's the league ID. The league name, WFO Radio, and the password, WFO, all capitalized, ADIO 1. And you will be in the WFO Radio Fantasy League, the most challenging fantasy league on the planet. And there it is. Now, it is Monday late night. You have all day Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I think you can sign up for this right up to pretty much the start of the Daytona 500.
Yes, absolutely.
For the first one of the year. So we've got all week to load this league. Now, they did send something out to you and to me about the driver group game.
It's the same thing. It's
up.
an instruction.
Right, but what do you mean it's filling up? Is that just an urgency to purchase?
Is that what it said?
You know what I mean? Like, are they?
Yeah, I think that's just the title of the email.
If we don't have a minimum number of people or maximum number of people we can get in the league, then it's not filling up our league. Hey, listen, if you don't get in the league, there's nothing we can do. That's it. If it closes up, like maybe, who knows how many spots it is. Maybe it's 117. Maybe we'll not even need that many. But if you love WFO, this is a big segment on the show. Come up with a funny team name, get in the fantasy league, invite your friends. Maybe they'll become listeners, right? They'll want to hear their team name said on the show. They'll want to be mocked for their failures.
Oh, there's only 7 drivers in Group A. Have you gone to the groups?
Real rapidly and casually.
I just realized that. Brad Kay, Chase Elliott, Joy, Harvick, Kyle Busch, Kyle Larson, and Truex.
Yeah, somebody is a B driver that shouldn't be a B driver. I forget who it was.
Let's see.
Yeah. Read the B drivers.
Bowman, Almirola, Austin Dillon, Clint Boyer, Daniel Suarez, Denny Hamlin, Eric Jones, Jimmy, Kurt Busch, Paul Menard.
Jimmy Johnson, B driver. Disrespect.
Yeah. Well, he didn't win a race last year.
Yeah, I guess.
Stenhouse Jr., Blaney, Newman, and Byron are the B drivers. And C, BJ and the Bear, Brendan Gaughan, Chris Buescher, Cody Ware, not entered. LaJoie, Daniel Heinrich, not entered. Wallace Jr., David Reagan, Jamie Mack. He's only going to be in one race. You might as well start him if he qualifies.
What is that, the hippie tippy with Giovanni?
Well, just letting you know.
Yeah.
If that's the only race he's going to play, he's a good plate runner. Although, who knows what car he's in. Oh, no, he's supposed to be in a car from Ganassi, but what have you. Where was I? McMurray, Jeffrey Earnhardt, but he's not entered. Okay, Joey Gase is entered. Landon Castle.
Hey, Joey Gase.
De Benedetto. Matt Tifft. McDowell. Parker Kligerman. He's in a car. And if not entered so far, but Reed Sorensen, Regan Smith, Chastain is in. Ryan Preece is in. Preece, that's the hippies boy. He's racing the 47 car. Ryan Truex is in the Tommy Baldwin Racing entry. And Ty Dillon and Tyler Reddick close out. There's a whole bunch of guys that aren't entered in the race that are also C drivers. So I guess it does give us more variety of the C driver this year.
Yeah, as long as they're entered in the race. But that's the whole thing. Team 14,
no, because
Mike.
Yahoo would have thrown Darrell Wallace already in the B drivers this year and made it only the rookies. You know how they...
Like how much more challenging do we want to make it? How about we do the allocation of 5 then for the C drivers?
Well, you can't because
if
there's only 7, then 5 will only get you to 35 races.
Yeah, then, you just have to go one race without somebody and, make it 6, and then we're there. Then it's really challenging. You get my point. So there it is, folks. The WFO Radio Fantasy League originally started in, I think, 2005. I think is when...
Well, the first year we have a winner here, I mean, lo and behold, it's the year 2007.
Well, that's the first year then.
It was definitely before that.
Yeah, but that wasn't official because we had a whole smat. We had 18 groups.
Yes.
We had 18 groups. And so there was could have been 17 champions of all those groups. That was prior to, it's like the, AFL, NFL days.
Right.
We don't count those in the Super Bowl. They happened, though. Those teams were champions and all, and everybody respects them, but they weren't Super Bowl champions.
Well, technically, yeah, the Green Bay Packers were
the first.
But the first
but
NFL was when the Jets played Super Bowl III.
But when was the first Super Bowl?
Super Bowl I was obviously.
But there were football championships prior to the Super Bowl.
There were.
That's what I'm saying.
That is correct.
Maybe it was the marketing exercise, or maybe it was just the hype machine, whatever it was. But we combined everything to create the WFO Radio Fantasy League in 2007, the year that I won, and took down everybody. When it was a much more challenging deal back then. We had all hundreds and hundreds of people. It was crazy. But there it is. So get in the league. Join us. And on with the show. All right, let's get going. I was up really early last, I guess Monday, and went from Ontario to Dallas, from Dallas to Fort Lauderdale, came here. Here I am. Poker Guys just finished up. They just got out of the studio, and we are rolling. I'm already sending out emails to connect with Robert Height, Bo Butner, and Doug Coletta on NHRA Nitro. The first race of the NHRA season was really interesting, the ramp-up. Talk about this traveling acceleration circus and the NHRA Mellow Yellow Series, 24 races about to head out. Well, this first race is kind of, some assembly required. Things are getting ready and ramped up. People are learning how to build, like the new tents and new things. And it's just a very interesting way it all goes down. Got through it, though. Had fun. I was on the mic for a fair amount of time, especially Saturday. I was up there for a while. Got to do some cool interviews. Got to talk with Snake and Force and had a really good time. Austin Prock got his first round win in Top Fuel against Brittany Force, his teammate. That was a cool moment. But then the rain came down. So then we headed on over to the Elite Motorsports Pro Stock Pit area, and we innovated a new interview style. And it is on the NHRA Facebook page, and it's basically tag. We talk to one person on the team, and they get to tag someone that we get to go annoy. And it's like, we didn't even choose to come talk to you. Your teammate sent us, tagged you, and it was very well received. It was a lot of fun. But then the rain came down. And that was that. We tried to dry it, and they ran today. Brian Loans in the booth.
It looked like it was a beautiful day today.
But today was a beautiful day, and they were all talking about,
But it was freezing cold from what I could get.
It was very cold. If by very cold, 48 and wet. 45 and wet. There was ice on cars. Still a decent crowd, though. It looked like rain all day long, and still people showed up to come walk the pits and hang out. But like we said, we're going to head down to Wild Horse Pass in Arizona next weekend, and home of the Los Jincones and others. Maybe it'll be an interesting time. Now the Clash. Jimmy Johnson won the Clash. Wild move, shortened race. They had rain too, didn't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
They had a little bit of rain early, and then obviously it rained hard and cut it short, after, I guess there was 15 laps left or so?
Well, I don't know. I haven't seen anything. That's on you to get me up to speed. We were doing our own thing. I saw a little of it in the Elite Lounge, and we watched a few moments, like the green, and then I was doing my work thing. So I did see the move where Jimmy Johnson did, in a way, cause the wreck, taking out Paul Menard, who had led a lot of the race, most of the race. But other than that, I'm not up to speed. So I want you to give me your assessment. First of all, the Johnson move, I deemed that a racing deal. The guy's trying to make a pass, the arrow at 190 miles an hour. They got sucked back together, and then they collided and crashed. And Jimmy was able to keep on, and Paul was not because of where he got hit. Jimmy in the front, Paul in the quarter panel.
Well, only 4 cars really made it past the...
Well, but then everybody else just piled into the whole thing.
Pretty much so.
Yeah. There was a wall of cars. It was a great wall of cars blocking the whole track, preventing them from coming through. And it was it good racing? What was the story? Give me the breakdown. Give me the geo breakdown of the Advanced Auto Parts Clash.
It was not the best of racing. A lot of single file.
Why is your voice all shredded?
I don't know.
I know I have an excuse. What's yours?
I don't know.
Were you yelling at people this weekend? Was there a lot of yelling going on?
There was some yelling going on, yes. There was yelling. I don't want to...
Maybe that's it.
Yeah, no, that must be. It must be.
Because you're definitely not your normal voice.
I don't know.
I'm closer to my normal voice than you are to yours.
Must be reaching puberty or something.
Yeah, exactly. Hi, guys. They're dropping.
Yep.
Finally.
Anyway.
We've been waiting for this for a long time.
Yep.
We've been waiting. You're becoming a man.
I don't know about all that.
Back to the Clash.
But I am getting old. The Clash was a little bit of follow the leader. The inside lane was not the place to be. Not enough cars, I guess, on the track. Because when there was less than 8 cars lined up on the inside would just completely fall back. So we'll see. I don't expect that the race to be that way on Sunday. And so I don't want to just rush to judgment.
No,
this
you
early.
can't. You cannot.
Because we've seen poor racing at the Clash before, and then great racing, a lot better racing on Sunday.
But what do we got to do here, though?
And to be honest with you, there was really no feel for the race because it was a little cloudy. It was pretty much cloudy, and the threat of rain the whole time. They stopped early on, light drizzle.
Right.
And then they finally were able, once they got going, they ran. They had that caution after 25 laps. And then it took them a while to get going after that. And so they were about to do about a 30-lap sprint to the end when the big one happened with about, less than 20 to go. And then it started pouring, and they never went back racing. So there wasn't really much of a feel for the race, to be honest with you.
All right.
But the little bit of racing we did see, it was a lot of single-file racing on the outside lane. And the 21, I guess those are the Penske cars? Yeah, the 21, the 12, and the 22 were very strong.
Well, that makes sense that they would be, having won the championship a year ago.
Yeah. No, but they had been very good
they're running the Mustangs, though, the new body.
Yes, they've been very good at the restrictor plate and Daytona and Talladega in particular.
How does
Penske,
the Mustang look?
It looks really nice. It looks like from the back, it looks like a real car.
You just remembered Penske?
I don't know. I might have. I think I might have said it earlier too. I just wasn't sure if I did, so I wanted to make sure to reiterate that I just got it in there. Penske.
That's good. I'm glad you did. I saw the Mustangs on track. They look okay. Not great.
Well, I mean, the back actually looks like a real car, and it's just. I gotta tell you, the fact. I don't know. I've given up on the fact for them to look like anything like a real car or anything. So
you've given up on that. Well, listen, rightfully so, because there's no way it's going to happen. They've got a box that they've got to be in, and so William Byron and Alex Bowman are on the front row, and I just can't help but think that who are these guys and why should we like them? The answer is that's coming in the next 5 years. But what is that? That's Jeff Gordon and Dale Jr. Really, if you think about it, and that's what it would have been 5 years ago. Right? Those two cars. And it's just, that's why we're in a little bit.
3 years ago, that was the 24
That's why we're in a little bit of a lull right now, is all. And let's hope for a really exciting race. Let's hope for an exciting day. I'm fired up about the Daytona 500. I was thinking about it today. Like, hey, you know what I get to do?
You get to watch.
I get to watch, man. I get to watch.
Is that the first time in a while?
I don't know. I got to see it sometimes. I don't
No,
really,
but I mean, like,
I don't know.
From sitting at home rather than out.
I don't even know. I don't think I saw it last year, but the year before I think I saw it. And, I usually treat the Daytona 500 like the Super Bowl, fun and camp out and watch out and the whole thing. So I intend to do that, including
all right, there's going to be a party at Joe's house next week.
The Gander RV Duels, which we have the starting lineups of Duel number 1 and 2, William Byron, Jimmy Johnson, Daniel Hemrick, Martin Truex Jr., Brad Keselowski, Paul Menard, Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, Ryan Blaney, Eric Almirola, Kurt Busch, David Reagan, Michael McDowell, Ryan Truex, Jamie McMurray, Brendan Gaughan, Darrell Wallace Jr., Matt Trift, Ross Chastain, Corey LaJoie, and B.J. McLeod. That is Duel numero uno. Okay, and then Duel numero dos. Gander RV Duel number 2 is Bowman the Showman, Chase Elliott, the champ Joey Logano, Clint Boyer, Austin Dillon, Denny Hamlin. What's wrong with you? You're having all kinds of problems.
I'm having a bad life.
You are. You got a black cloud fluttering over you.
I am. I feel like Pigpen.
Eric Jones, Tyler Riddick, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Daniel Suarez, Chris Buescher, Ryan Newman, Casey Mears, Ryan Parisi.
No, I don't know. It's Priest.
How's he Rich's boy? What's that got to do with Rich? Yeah. Matt DiBenedetto, Kyle Larson, Ty Dillon, Parker Kligerman, Landon Castle, Cody Ware, Joey Gase. Those are the field for number 2. Gander RV Duel 2. So why is that Rich's boy?
Because he was touting that guy last year in fantasy or something.
Oh, all right. Very cool. There it is. Now, why you claim to have this black cloud floating over you?
Well, now my glasses just fall off right into the mic. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I heard it.
Well,
I
there you
certainly
go.
heard
Yeah,
it.
everyone heard it then.
And then I saw the reaction.
It's like, yeah, whatever.
Well, listen, the good news for you is that this is not going to be we're going to take some back from that 3-hour spectacular we did last week.
Yeah, that was the part of deposits
Yes.
in the safety bank account.
Yes, absolutely.
In the show length bank account.
Audience show length bank account. Dear audience, last week you guys got a 3-hour mega spectacular, which
really was.
I listened back to it, and it was fun. Everybody loved the iguana story. There's all kinds of memes on the internet. Me fighting iguana, Joe Costello, iguana fighter, all that stuff. It got good numbers. Someone was listening to it, and it was fun. And we had a lot of fun. The Jeff Gordon Hall of Fame speech, we had a lot going on in that show. It was fun. We've already had Tony Stewart on with us at some point this year. We're off and running. A good year of WFO Ignition. So this is a perfect week to pull up short.
Hey, whoa, I don't like
right?
I don't like the sound of that.
Well, listen, we everybody knows the
Just
story.
saying.
Everyone knows the story. Maybe we'll come back. And now that we're doing all this special content for the Patreons and all, right? I did a special show for the Patreons right before I left. We created a special RSS feed for them, and I got on there and I was reading the instructions on how that I was going to put out the feed and all the great benefits of the feed. And I sent out the feed, and they all hated the feed. We don't need this. We have the app. Oh my God! Well, they said it's really useful.
There's a Patreon app?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's you don't have the Patreon app?
Yeah, of course I do.
Why don't you have the Patreon app?
Why would I?
Do you have the new NHRA.TV app? That was a little bit of a trouble thing this past weekend.
No. As a matter of fact, I was going to complain that I was not able to log on, but I mean, it wasn't like an NHRA issue. It was
I'm having a problem too, but I have a special login, so my issue is a little different. But
my issue is a little different too.
The deal is that the people that once they got logged in, and it's just like with our fantasy league, if you go and you sign up just straight, people were not having problems. Some of the people who are getting migrated over from the other deal were having problems with their password and just something that, in my guess, is it has to do with cookies in your computer. The old one is kind of locked in.
Oh, I prefer chocolate chip.
Right. But once they got it going, I had nearly universal praise from the diehards, the race guitars and others, that the stream is way more stable and that the whole everything is more user-friendly.
Interesting.
Now, today was somehow able to figure out audio only. Now, I don't know if audio only is available at all times. It should be. It's a selection, but today it was an option to go audio only, and I did. I went audio only. I'm on a plane. What do I care? I don't want to use up my battery on video and video screen. Do audio only. And I listened to the audio as much as I could.
Plane?
Until we took off.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of time.
You were at 30,000 feet listening to NHRA race.
No, but until we took off. And then I go into airplane mode, and it usually lasts about a minute after I go into airplane mode because of buffering, etc. And that was it. But I got to listen. It was interesting, and it was fun. It was cool. And I think NHRA.TV is going to be one of those things that everybody totally forgets that it was a little bumpy at the launch, and they're going to love it. It's going to be beloved. So here's our Haas F1
I got to
report.
tell you, before you get into that, I loved the old thing. I know it wasn't, 100% of the time.
Well, I'm going to play a game with you that I played with a couple of different people, and you're going to play along. Okay, ready? I'm going to give you a number, like a percentage that it was working, right? And you tell me over or under. Okay? Because the anger and the hatred, look, you're catching me at kind of a little bit of a negative time. Normally, I love to be very positive. You clearly think you have a big dark cloud floating over you like Pigpen, and your polarity
No, it's just following me. It's not even floating over me. It's following me around.
Your polarity is such that you're destroying things that you touch, computer and all. It's like breaking. Geo touches
It's got the inverse Midas touch, yeah.
Right. Everything he touches turns to crap.
Yeah,
exactly. The reverse Midas touch. My situation is different in that, I'm just tired, a little cranky.
You look like it. You should see his eyes here. His beautiful blue eyes don't look so nice tonight. He looks like he's about to pass out.
The color of my iris is not changed, and it does not change. But I'm sure I don't look the best. But so at times like that, that's when you're susceptible to negativity. Okay, and although I did watch White Boy Rick on the plane, and it was pretty good. I got 2/3 of the way through it. You got to watch that.
That's a movie or something?
Yeah.
Never
Matthew
heard of
McConaughey. It's right up your alley.
I have to watch
it's
that.
Right, it's right up your alley.
No, I love McConaughey.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like Detroit, guns and drug dealers and gangster stuff. You'll like it. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, White Boy Rick. I
also
watched.
What, like just on pay-per-view?
I think it's just come out on pay-per-view.
All right.
Yeah, it was recently in the theater. I also watched the Spy Who Dumped Me with Mila. It was actually like a real action-adventure movie, like a spy thriller with Mila Kunis being herself, a little funny,
it
a
sounds
little
like
goofy.
a comedy.
It was, but with lots of shooting and stunts and really interesting stuff. But I am a little disappointed, like just the. I said it somewhere. We got to fight against these negative people, man. We got to fight against them because they're taking over. The negative people. Just how the all access. You go on the Facebook and you see the commentary about that product, okay? It's horrifically negative, except I watched it, and here's my guess. Ready? Operational. Over or under 80% of the time.
All right. For me, it was definitely over.
Right. Everybody, I asked this question to several people. They go, oh, well, yeah, over. Okay. 85% of the time. People were like, over. Okay. And 90% of the time, they're like, all right, maybe 90, right around 90. 90 is a good thing. Some people said a little over. Some people said right around there. Okay. You've got a show that's generating via the internet from a far-off distant location that's maybe not the best place in the world, being beamed to you through the internet. And all of these things that are happening in between, it works 90% of the time.
Why are you passing judgment on these places that you go visit, man?
Well,
saying
I know
that they're not the best place in the world.
Meaning the location of the facility might not be the best.
Oh, you mean the Wi-Fi reception kind of stuff?
Yeah. What, are you
okay,
trying to be humorous? Is this funny?
I thought you were talking bad about all these people.
No, man. I mean, like technically
small
speaking,
towns that you go visit
for Wi-Fi and for internet access and bandwidth. Baytown, Texas might not have the best bandwidth, or maybe it has great bandwidth. I don't know, but think about it. It's a track in the middle of nowhere. There's nobody there 362 days of the year. Like the biggest events.
That's over 90%.
And for 3 days a year, you've got 15,000 people there and all kinds of stuff. And we're running this race and we're running a show out of there. And it works 90% of the time. And people are like, bleh.
Look, if you want to say, did it work? It worked 100% of the time, like for the weekend. It just didn't work all the time,
right,
all day long.
Well, anyway.
But I never tried to log on, and I was never able to, just never not watch.
And I don't want to repeat last week. We talked about this last week, and I complained about these people. But anyway,
you know how I feel. The internet is just there for people to complain,
right?
And as I like to call it, the anti-social media.
But people say it was much better.
But I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, like stable.
Because I thought it was always great to begin with. And you could deal with the minor interruptions. Really.
Really. You really can. You just stop and restart the stream. And there it is. It's back. I used to watch that thing driving from my house to your house. Put it up on the suction cup right up near the rearview mirror. So I was not. But I don't do that anymore because it's dangerous. And I'm at all the races. So, all right, it's time for the Haas F1 Report here on the WFO Radio Ignition podcast, where we are fired up about Haas.
We are in the black and gold livery.
Yes. There is a story on motorsport.com by Scott Mitchell. And the headline.
Former Dolphin quarterback?
Yes. The one they were going to trade Dan Marino to have him be the starter. Remember that?
Yeah, no, it worked out.
And where did he go? To Detroit, right?
He signed as a free agent. He was the guy who came in when Danny went down with the ankle with the
Achilles.
The Achilles.
Yeah, he was the backup when Danny went down with the Achilles, and
he got paid.
And then he got paid. And he did okay, but that just tells you right there another of the negativity. They were trying to run Dan Marino out of the town. Then what are you? What is in that bottle that's metal that you keep spitting it back in there? Making a cling-clang noise. They were trying to run Dan Marino out of town the first time for some palooka named Scott Mitchell. And there was a lot of people, and they're probably still working here in the MIA, who were making the case. See, that's what I wish. You know what I wish? Is that we could do some real journalism on the journalists and go back to that era and read a month's worth of stories.
And actually, that would be so. It's probably a lot easier now than it would have been back in the day.
Find all the people that suggested getting rid of Dan Marino for Scott Mitchell, right?
Yeah.
Find those people. And, oh, look, it was this guy, and it was this guy, and this guy. They all made the argument, and then go to them. Be like, hey, listen, we would like to speak with you for a documentary. Yeah, listen, back in 1997, you wrote these articles. Like, what the hell are you thinking? How are you still working? But that's a little mean-spirited in and of itself.
Yeah.
Motorsport.com. Here's the headline. Ready?
And you want to be positive all the time.
Haas vastly superior to rivals by every metric. Go.
By the way, can I
finish it? Yeah.
Because I Googled
tie it together.
Marino versus Scott Mitchell.
Yeah.
And one of the first stories that pops up is from, I guess, I'm not sure, I've never heard of this, but SliceMiami.com says, remember when Greg Cody wanted to trade Dan Marino and keep Scott Mitchell?
It was Cody. Right,
Cody.
And he's on with Levitar.
November 4th, 1993.
Yes.
So there you go.
Greg Cody. And he still writes. He's like one of the bigs. It just goes to show you that you just have takes. That's the deal. It doesn't even matter what your takes are. Just have constant takes on everything. Constant takes. And some of them will be right, and you'll be like, look, I'm right. And the ones that are wrong, you just be like, forget about those, and keep going.
So there you have it.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you remembered that. That was great. It was worth a laugh. I feel a little bit better now.
Good.
But the cloud has stood. Now it's in my eyes because I feel all dusty and itchy.
Well, you can thank Scott Mitchell from motorsport.com. Haas's new Formula One title sponsor picked the American team over the likes of McLaren and Williams because, quote, by every metric, they were vastly superior. British energy drinks company Rich Energy agreed a title deal with Haas late last year, and this week the team unveiled its 2019 F1 car with a JPS Lotus-inspired black and gold livery to echo the color scheme of its new backers product. Rich Energy was linked with both sponsoring and buying the Force India team last summer before turning its attention to Haas. But it was also known to have had conversations with title-winning teams like McLaren and Williams. Asked why it picked Haas, which is preparing for only its fourth year in Formula One, but finished fifth in the Constructors' Championship last year, Rich Energy CEO William Story, S-T-O-R-E-Y, Story, said, by every metric, they were vastly superior. They had the best business model in the sport. They were uniquely positioned to exploit regulation changes, and I think they are run in a very, very unpretentious fashion. I think they are proper racers. Gene Haas is a wonderful businessman who is approaching motor racing in the right way. Gunther Steiner is a brilliant team principal, and they have got two drivers with personality. America, baby, this is great. This is it. They jumped into this sport with the intent of doing exactly this. And now this guy's story is saying exactly what that's going to bring on other sponsors, man, just like that. Haas entered Formula One in 2016 through a partnership with Ferrari, which involves the use of many parts as allowed by the FIA regulations, and Italian constructor Dallara, which produces Haas's own components. The team scored points on its debut and last year challenged the Works Renault team for fourth in the championship. Story told Motorsports.com, we were reviewing options of various deals, reviewing teams, and we felt impressed in terms of their management, their ethos, their business model, how efficient they are, how professional they are, and focusing on the important things. A lot of big teams, in my opinion, get waylaid by peripheral stuff. I don't think it's any secret we were speaking to other teams, all of whom put in very good proposals. But we just felt that when we analyzed it in the cold light of day, that Haas was head and shoulders above the rest in terms of partnership for us.
Wow.
Story has slammed critics of Rich Energy and its products as like those who discredit the moon landing in 1969 or claim Elvis is still alive.
Whoa.
What do you mean discredit? I don't understand that deal. He has named West Ham United Football Club owner David Sullivan as one of 7 shareholders, indicating there's a significant amount of money behind the company. We have not got where we have by following the crowd. We're a bit contrarian by nature, and when others are fearful, be greedy. That's a saying. We intend to be in Formula One a long, long time. We believe Haas are absolutely a dream partner for us. It is very David taking on the Goliaths in F1, and we are doing the same in the energy drinks business. There it is. Rich energy. Wow. Just great Haas F1 news right there.
I've always told you it's good to be rich.
The headline, vastly superior by every metric. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. There you go. And that has been the Haas F1 Report on this edition of WFO Ignition. Gio, any sports collision you want to throw out there?
Today was the first day of pitchers and catchers reporting at
All right.
some training camps. Not
Yes.
all. I believe, what are they? The Oakland A's are the ones that started camp today. But, yeah, baseball's back. Spring training starts this week.
Good. Good.
So that's really it. I mean, NBA stuff going on, but I don't know. I don't know if it's when the local Heat team is not really very good. And I've actually watched a few of their games lately.
Watching D-Wade?
Yeah, watching D-Wade on the curtain call, I guess. It's been nice everywhere he goes for the final time. They play a little few-minute tribute up on the video monitor, and then after the game, he's always
Swapping a jersey with everybody.
jerseys with somebody. But, yeah, they played Golden State last night. They played a very good game. They were actually in the game the whole game, and to be honest with you, the whole second half, I just expected Golden State to explode and beat them by 20, but the Heat managed to keep it close the whole game, and they were in it at the end and almost had a chance to win, but did not pull off the upset in Golden State. And I don't know, I guess seeing the local team is they're not very good this year. I expected a little bit more. I mean, I didn't expect them to be great, but I didn't expect them to be, I guess, like, I don't know, I think they're like 4 games under 500 now, 3 or 4 games, so it hasn't been very interesting to watch basketball, I guess. Is what I'm saying. I haven't been interested in the NBA yet. Maybe when April and playoffs come around.
It's not like the last 3 minutes of the ball game. It's like the last month of the season.
Right.
I get it. We went to a game this year. Yankees-Red Sox, Saturday, February 23rd, 1:05 p.m. First time they'll square off in some sort of spring training game. Very interesting. I heard that there was a little maybe activity going on for Jacoby Ellsbury. Little trade thing. That got me excited. I did. I got really excited
at
at
Ellsbury. To be excited about? No, we were going to trade our trash for somebody else's trash.
Whatever. But I would prefer, let's get him over there, man. Get him away.
Well, I don't know. Let's see what happens. One of the worst deals. Yeah, we were going to trade him for somebody that's another guy that's owed roughly the same amount of money. So, I don't know. It doesn't matter at this point. He doesn't really play.
No, well, they say he and Clint Frazier are going to battle for the last outfield spot.
Whoa.
And you heard Aaron Judge says that he's willing to move to center if we get Harper.
Except our center fielder is actually pretty good.
Well, he is good. Hicks,
but
real good. But
well, first of all, the Judge is just the kind of guy he is. He's willing to do whatever it takes to make the team better, even if he says, even if the guy's coming to play my position.
Honestly,
so that just goes to show you the kind of guy he is.
The hatred would be unprecedented
if we got Harper.
Yeah,
I mean, you know what? I would offer him 3 years, $100 million, and see if he bites.
Well, exactly the way that this collusion is happening.
Whoa. There's no collusion going on
Something is
here.
going. There is something's up. Nobody's paying anybody anything. Like, it's as if they got together and they said, we're not paying anybody anything. Let's wait them out.
I mean, that's the way it would seem.
Where's the signings, man? Spring training is here. Where are the biggest free agents of the year are still out there? No deal.
And that's the second year in a row that this has happened now.
Coincidence?
So it really makes me wonder if there isn't going to be a big work stoppage at the next collective bargaining agreement.
Oh, that would be a big mistake, though.
It would be, but what are you going to do? So it can't just be that the players have overestimated their value. I mean, that is part of it. But I also think, like, part of this thing is, why would you want to give anybody a 10-year deal anymore when you've seen that the vast majority of those don't work out?
No. At the end, you're stumbling down the stretch.
Now, to be fair, these guys are younger than anybody ever has been. They're 26, so even at the end, they're going to be 36, which is not quite like the 30 and 31-year-olds that got the 10-year deals. But
still a lot of things that can
yeah.
happen.
And there's a lot of stuff going on. Part of it is that there's too many teams that are really not trying to win. And this goes back to I've heard
absolutely that's an
stories
old
of
problem.
Old school Bill Walsh in football. Always said that we're really only competing with about 8 or 9 other teams.
Right. In addition to a salary cap, there should be a salary floor.
That is part of it, and so we'll see. There's a lot of stuff that's going to be discussed about now as they go to the table, but there's definitely an issue where 2 of the best players in baseball are 26-year-old free agents, which very rarely happens in this sport, that guys that young hit the market. And here we are about a month before the season starts, and they don't have a team.
Who's that?
Bryce Harper and Machado.
Yeah, no, exactly. The good news is that they can fit right in immediately.
But, that's not the issue, though.
Right.
The big issue is, how is it that no one has offered these guys a deal? Or how are they unsigned?
I told you, man, it's collusion.
In the NFL and in NBA, guys are signed like at 12:01 as soon as free agency hits.
Because you can just cut them, and if they get hurt, you don't have to
Not
pay
in
them.
NBA, though.
Oh, no, I thought you said NFL.
But in both.
Yeah.
In other leagues, anytime free agency, I mean, it's a big thing. As soon as guys hit the market, they're signing immediately. Even in the NFL, where guys can get cut, and they are only really guaranteed the signing bonus. I don't know. I just think it's a little weird stuff going on. I definitely agree with that.
Interesting. Well, there you go. All right, one more thing. I did a lot of watching of things. I mentioned I saw a Mila Kunis movie, and I talked about White Boy Rick, which I'm only halfway through. So far, it's okay. It's good.
Oh, so you rented it?
No, on the movie, there's free movies on the plane.
Oh.
There's free movies.
Oh, all right.
And they're new movies.
No,
but
I know.
The one that I saw that was really great, though, was on my way out, and it's called The Bill Murray Stories, Life Lessons Learned from a Mythical Man. And it's a documentary that was made in 2018. And if you are, like I am, a fan of Bill Murray, which I am, you will love this. You will love this. It's great. And it's like an hour and 30 minutes or something. This director, Tommy Avalone, he's a Bill Murray fan as well. He's a documentary filmmaker. And I'm sure you have heard that Bill Murray, and for those of you who don't know, there is an actor named Bill Murray. He was in many movies. Stripes is one of them. Caddyshack is one of them. Groundhog Day is one of them. There are countless others. Ghostbusters. He was on Saturday Night Live for many years in the late 70s. Believe it or not, I'm sure there's someone in our audience who has never heard of Bill Murray.
What about Bob?
What about Bob? Just many, many movies. Scrooged. Many movies, many movies, Bill Murray. Anyway, so the guy is extremely Life Aquatic, which is one of my personal favorites because Wes Anderson loved it. The Royal Tenenbaums. He was barely in that, but he was excellent in it. The thing about Bill Murray is he's extremely well-known and famous. Like his face and whole image is everywhere. And there are these stories that are passed around that people have about Bill Murray just showing up where they are. And, like, there'll be a house party, and he'll be there. And he doesn't know anybody there, but he's there. And he was somewhere nearby, and he saw there was a party, and he just comes over, and he's just in. Or, these karaoke places where people go and they get a room and they sing karaoke. Well, all of a sudden, you're in there and you're singing with your friends, and all of a sudden, a guy opens his door, and it's Bill Murray, and he comes in. And that's one of the things he likes to do. There was one in London there was a house party going on, and these guys go into the house party, and they see in the kitchen, Bill Murray is washing dishes. And so what this documentary filmmaker thought it was very interesting, and so what he did was he went and tracked down all the people who are the originators of the story, like the people who had the party where Bill Murray went and washed the dishes. He went there and he talked to them and got the story. And they're like, yeah, well, this is what happened and blah, blah, blah. And then there's Bill Murray. And he said, oh, my God, these dishes they're so dirty. Listen, he goes, don't worry, I'll handle them. And while everyone else is having the party, Murray is washing the dishes.
Wow.
And there's
What a
just
scene.
there's many stories about it, and it's really and they use cell phone footage, and so the director the whole time is trying to get an interview with Bill Murray, which I don't know if you know this, but Bill Murray does not have an agent. Do you know that one?
You know, I gotta say, I feel like if I heard it before, now that you mention it,
He's
but
got
it wasn't something that I'm acutely aware
He has
of.
no agent and he has no people.
He's
He's
his
just a
agent.
guy.
Right.
He's his own agent.
Right.
He's got an 800 number with a voicemail. And everybody's got to call the 800 number. That's it. If you want to get Murray to do your whatever it is. And remember Sofia Coppola with
Yes.
Scarlett Johansson? What was that? Lost in Translation?
Yes.
Remember that one?
Yes, very
Like
good.
apparently she had to call him for months at a time. Beep. Yeah, Bill, this is Sofia Coppola. I'm Francis Ford Coppola's daughter. Yeah, I got a movie. Beep. And she had to call, and eventually he called her back and did the movie that, didn't he get an Academy Award for that or something? Somebody got something.
Somebody got something right.
Yeah. But anyway, very worth watching. Very worth watching. This is a new movie. The reason that I'm pointing it out, this was made in 2018, baby. Joe's doing a review of a reasonably new movie. Now, it's a doc. I'm into the documentaries, and I love Bill Murray. But I walked out of the thing feeling like, first of all, I didn't walk anywhere. I was on a plane. I felt great about it. I felt like, like my life had been, not forever changed. That would be extreme. But lightened by it. And I took some advice out of it. Because they say that Bill Murray has got this life attitude, like he understands that sharing his fame and celebrity makes people happy. And so he does it on purpose as often as he can. Like South by Southwest, he got hooked up with his band, and he acted as their roadie. And he carried all their speakers, and he did all the thing. And he's giving out money half the time. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out a ball of money and hands it. He's like, listen, let me buy beer for the band. And they're like, no, don't. He's like, listen, I've been saving up for this. If you like Bill Murray, you got to watch it. The Bill Murray Stories, Life Lessons Learned from a Mythical Man. I thought it was very interesting, and I don't see how you could not come away from this loving Bill Murray myself. Pretty good documentary, too. Anything else there, Giovanni? We got to talk about it. It's Daytona 500
great.
week. NHRA Nitro is this week. I'm going to try to get it done.
I saw a movie also.
Oh, do tell.
I saw Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, I heard it was
a
fantastic.
fairly new movie also.
Yes.
So we're not giving 30-year movie reviews this week.
Yes.
Bohemian Rhapsody was great. If you're a Queen fan, it was like being at a Queen concert. About 2 hours of Queen music, and I thought it, very good portrayal. Found out some things I didn't really necessarily know about Queen, but I've always liked their music, and I've always enjoyed Queen. So
yeah,
I thought it was a very good, very good movie.
Well, I plan to watch it.
2 thumbs up.
I plan to watch it.
There you go.
It's well, that's good. Look at this. We're giving our pointers. We're doing our thing, and then I think that's where we should wrap it up. Right around a cool hour for the Ignition audience. They understand that we're getting ready for Big Daytona 500 week. We've got NHRA Nitro later on in the week. We're going to do winners next week. But the real question is, did you watch Performance TV on Motor Trend Network? That's the real question with myself and Kathy Fisher.
Of course.
Oh,
I
good.
always watch your
How
show.
was
We have
it?
viewing parties.
How was it? Because I didn't get to see it.
It was the usual, Joe hosting, doing host stuff.
Yeah.
Talking.
John Collins came over to me. Tommy Johnson's crew chief came over and it's walking over. I was like, oh, okay. What's up with this? He's like, just want to tell you do a really great job on that show.
Look at that.
I was like, oh, my God, that's awesome. Yeah, I had a couple of really good moments, like nice person-to-person moments out there. I'm happy that the season is going again. I want to get rolling, though, man. I want to get to and through the Gator Nationals because that's like an epic one. And then we'll be cruising. All right, everybody, that's going to do it. We got the duels on Thursday. We got the Daytona 500 on Sunday.
I believe the duels are now in the evening, probably
Yes,
6 or 7 o'clock at night, if I'm not mistaken.
And have been at night for the past couple of years, but yes.
It's been a while, right?
Right.
I seem to have memories of having to, cheat at work and bring a little TV before you could watch on the internet. It used to be like a daytime thing.
7 p.m. the duels Thursday night, which is also Valentine's Day, which makes it the perfect date thing to do. Take your special someone, and plop them down in front of the television and watch NASCAR. That's definitely going to end up with something very positive for you at the end of the night, I think.
Yeah,
you're going to love it. You're going to love it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to dive back in, and we're going to try to go. I met Bud from Sublime, the drummer from Sublime, which was cool. Well, there was some celebrities out there. We had a really good time.
It's California, man.
It is California. Everybody's got an agent. Everybody's in the industry. Everybody's got their own stuff.
Southern California. I can't believe it was so cold, though.
Freezing, man. I did have an In-N-Out burger.
Yeah, I saw it. Did you go? What else did you do? What other California stuff did you do?
That's
did
it.
You hit Felipe's or?
No.
No?
I flew into Ontario, so...
Oh, that's right. You're not in LA.
I didn't do any LA stuff. I did not see LA Vlad. I did not do any LA stuff with any LA people.
Oh, there was no darkness spreading?
No. Just doing my normal thing, man. Went to the track. All about drag racing. First race of the year, man. All about drag racing. Good times, though. All right, everybody, that's going to do it. Subscribe to WFO Radio to hear all this chaos on a regular basis. Hit the archive. The archive is absolutely loaded with great stuff right now. NHRA Nitro, Ignition, new Nitro show coming later this week. Winners from the Lucas Oil Winternationals. Last week's guest, Matt Sackman, went to the final round in Alcohol Dragster, and Ed Federkyle was the number one qualifier in Comp Eliminator. Just out of nowhere. And they both had good weekends. Ed's could have been better, though. They got shut off on the starting line for an unfortunate oil leak. But they'll get better.
Terrible.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Those are the breaks. All right, everybody, that's going to do it. Stay in contact. Follow the social media. Join the Fantasy League. It's all on you. Load that league.
Reach out if you need more information.
Yes, exactly. We'll see you next time right here on WFO Radio.
WFO! The views and opinions of the hosts, guests, or callers do not necessarily reflect that of the station ownership, advertisers, or agency.
Yeah, welcome to the party.